So I think you and I need to do this one a bit different. I don't really feel it necessary that we need to determine if this has adequate pulling or pushing power. Just let's cover that math again in case you didn't get it in a tech review. 3,516 pounds that's motivated by 540 horsepower. So our job really isn't determining if it's quick, it's how do we make it quicker. And with that, starting off in normal mode. Normal is Santa Maria, Madre di Dios. Okay, that's normal. Check. But if you watch the tech review, you remember this little button here. So let's press it. Turbines to speed. Ready, Batman. Sport response. And all of a sudden, we have invoked that overboost, but more importantly, we've changed those impellers. Now they're closed to the point where it's giving me max boost. Forget about fuel economy or whether the car's going slow or fast. It's no longer the docile car from Deutschland that is like, it's not your Fräulein that you see the girls that dance in like the whole traditional German garb, like, oh, it's lovely and like folk and this is great. No, we're pissed off. This is like a Messerschmitt and you're going over like, I don't know where you're going, but you're getting some power here. People, oh my God, we really need to be going to a closed track for this. Let's just close it at that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm confused. Back in the day, there used to be a 911 turbo and a normally aspirated 911. But now, there's a turbo, which makes that the turbo. I'm confused. So rather than rehash the bullets and numbers that we did in the tech review, let's talk about some of the differences. So they're both turbos, they're both 6 cylinders, but this one, 3 liters, that one, 3.8 liters. Yes, they both have turbochargers, but this one, well, it's a turbocharger. That one is variable turbine geometry. If you want to know what that is, go back to our tech review. Then how does that all translate in terms of real-world performance? Well, basically, the fastest version to 60 of this, which is the Carrera 4S with a PDK, is 3.6 to 60. Not a slouch. That one over there, a measly 2.9 seconds to 60. But, there's people like me who are broken that want more power. That's why there's a Turbo S. That's 2.8 to 60. Then there's the whole top speed thing. Let's go back to this one. Believe it or not, the fastest one is not the PDK all-wheel drive. It's the two-wheel drive manual, and that's 191 miles an hour. Okay, not exactly a slouch. Over there, 198 miles an hour. But then there's the S for people like us, and that's 205. Okay, so let's go around some turns, shall we? This car fitted with not a lot of options, believe it or not, but there is one we need to focus on, and that is the sport suspension. That is in addition to HASM and all the sport chrono stuff. So we got a beautiful declining radius turn coming up here. Let's do it in the most basic, normal setting, shall we? We're going to do a little manual here. I'm going to downshift. I like downshifting. We're in second gear. Come around this thing. Elevation change. It doesn't disturb the car in any way, shape, or form. Okay, as things begin to get a bit more technical here, let's set up for this next beautiful declining radius turn. Let's go to the sport suspension setup here. One button. Very few buttons here, by the way. Put our foot into it. Oh, man, you can't help but laugh with this thing. Brake, downshift, second gear, let's come around this thing. And it's... I know a Lotus guy is talking to you right now, but it's as flat as you're gonna get. As close to a Lotus that weighs 3,500 pounds, get it? Even when you put a foot wrong, even in like the snarly, pissed off mode, it doesn't like beat you up. We gotta come up with a better name than pissed off mode. It's gotta be something German. Something like it attacks you. It gets in your foot. Rottweiler mode, that's it. So let's go to Rottweiler mode, Sport Plus, put our foot into it, try it again. People, I'm going to cry like a baby when they take this car from me. You and I were very busy in the tech review. We covered everything from variable turbine geometry, turbochargers, horsepower, torque, brakes, even construction methods. So we ran out of time to talk about something rather important, and that's the aerodynamics. So still 3 different settings, a normal, I guess, kind of like diet mode, where it's all these things are kind of retracted. And then there's a middle mode, which this kind of comes out a little bit, and that comes in at 75 miles an hour. So that's effectively legal in only certain parts of Texas or other states like that. Then there's a performance mode, which comes in at 186 miles an hour. I don't know where that's legal. And basically the goal there is more downforce, so extension here, and that gets to 291 pounds of downforce from the factory. But there are people like me who are just broken and need more downforce than that, and Zuffenhausen is all too happy to oblige. There is an additional Aero Kit which provides 40 more pounds of downforce. So let's switch off Rottweiler und Fast mode, switch off the sport suspension, and I want to share an epiphany I've had with you guys about 911s. Now, popular belief is one would buy one of these, especially any car like this, to impress other people. You're not really buying it for yourself, is the old adage. And I'll admit, I am guilty of thinking that with 911s, and it's one of the things that was off-putting to me about 911s. I wouldn't say it's the thing that drove me to Lotus, and certainly buying a Lotus, you're impressing nobody. But you look at the places I've lived, New York, London, Munich, and now I live in Los Angeles. Every one of those cities, everyone has one of these things. So really, who are you impressing? Nobody. But then, now that I've spent a lot of time with this is really good. I mean, really good. And I would argue you're saying no to fancier cars that would, I guess, theoretically impress other people for the same money as this, but you're choosing this because it drives so well. So in reality, you're impressing yourself, not other people. So in summary, what do we got? Now, this is the point where I could pontificate on the changes of the turbocharger. I could pontificate about all of the bits, how they come together to make this an incredibly fast vehicle. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to share with you my first 24 hours with this vehicle. The sky opened here in Los Angeles, finally, and it poured down rain. I actually took this thing out of the garage and had a ball driving it in the rain. So much so that every night that I had this thing, I would keep it out till like 2 in the morning, and then I'd come home and I'd spend at least an hour searching for a 991 Targa manual, because if this is this good, imagine if I had a roof that moved and a manual transmission. Then I listen to Dave Ramsey podcast and I come back to reality. So with that, I'm going to turn this around to you guys and say, what would you choose given the budget of $180,000 US, which is what that car costs, or up to about $200 for the S? And I want to be very specific about this. You can't choose an S-Class. Do you get this? Or do you buy something like an Huracan or a Ferrari that looks better? There are less of them out there, but they don't do what that does. Let me know your choice and why. And for good measure, do you own these types of cars? Let me know in the comments below or via our social media. MotoManTV, all one word, MotoManTV, all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, I want to leave you with 2 things. Number 1, make sure you download our fancy new mobile application, which you can download for free at Apple iTunes and Google Play. And number 2, a fun fact. So you may have noticed throughout these 2 episodes, as well as the 2 718 Boxster and 718 Cayman episodes, that I wore this, a big-ass belt buckle. Now, I am not a belt buckle guy. I may be a pocket square guy, but definitely not a belt buckle guy. This was a gift from the fine folks at Porsche Communications. And you know what? I deal with a lot of different communications people, but the Porsche people, they're like super cool because they're car guys. Like Frank, the guy who gives us these things, this guy's not only a car guy, he did Target Newfoundland with me, and he speaks fluent German. Anyway, his boss came up with the great idea, like, well, these guys are gonna come to Texas, why don't we get something Texas, like a big ass belt buckle? So they decided to put the Porsche crest on the belt buckle. Only one problem, they didn't tell Zuffenhausen. And the folks in Zuffenhausen got wind about it, and you're like, oh, this is verboten. So no more big ass belt buckle, Porsche crest belt buckles. Anyway, so this is limited edition, what I'm trying to say. So, vielen Dank, Porsche Communications in Atlanta. Until I see you next time, bis später.